everyone, if you are a dietetic intern or you're about to become a dietetic intern, here are 6 must-do things that I feel like will really optimize your dietetic internship experience. Hi guys, my name is Delancey. If you are new here, welcome to my channel. I am a registered dietitian, that is my day job. And when I look back on my dietetic internship experience, the first thing that I want to say that I feel like is a must-do for all interns is to ask. And by that, I mean ask as many questions as you can. Ask to see things, ask to go do things. It can be hard as an intern to have this perspective, but now that I'm on the other side of things and I've actually served as a preceptor now, I can tell you, and I can't speak for all preceptors, but just for me, at least, I am really caught up in my full-time job and my full-time job expectations. I can take a wild guess at the things you want to see and do as an intern, but at the end of the day, I cannot read your mind. I can't get inside your head and know exactly the ideal experience for you. Just ask. And the worst case is we say no and you move on. In that same vein, I would also say yes to as many things as you can. Of course, know your limitations and your boundaries, but try and experience as much as you can, even if you feel like it may not be entirely in your field of interest or expertise. What's important to remember as an intern is that the student experience is a luxury. You are free to see whatever you want, you are free to mess up, you are free to explore. And the environment really changes once you become a full-time employee. Your responsibilities change, your expectations. So really take advantage of being a student while you still can. The next must-do on my list is you must be kind to yourself. I know with the dietetic internship, it can get a little discouraging sometimes. You are being bounced around from specialty to specialty, whether it's in the clinical sphere, whether it's in the community rotation or in food service. You're not very good at what you do. You mess up, you make mistakes, there are huge gaps in your knowledge. You need to remember is that's just kind of the nature of an internship when you're rotating around from place to place. One thing to remember that was a really great piece of advice when I first started my job was to remember that it takes anywhere from like 6 months to a year to get good at the job that you are doing. Now, put that in perspective of you as an intern where you are getting bounced around every other week. So for example, if you really badly want to be a renal dietitian and you go into the dialysis unit, you are super passionate about it, you've read books, you have prepped, and yet you are messing up. You feel like you're incompetent and you look at this renal dietitian who's working there full time and she's amazing and you think, wow, she deserves that, not me. She has been in this job for way longer than you have, and this is her full-time job. This is what she is doing day in and day out. It is only renal nutrition. So I would hope that she is better than you at this point in time. So be easier on yourself, just embrace it. And don't worry, when you become full-time into whatever specialty you want to go into, you will be wonderful and fantastic and talented as well. And this ties into point number 3, which is you must remember that a poor internship experience does not mean a poor career choice. One of the dietitians that I have always respected the most, she was one of my favorite preceptors, and she was my ICU preceptor. And she told me outright that she didn't really enjoy her internship experience. It was nothing special, and she was kind of just waiting to get out of it as quickly as she could. And now today she's a total bad bee in the ICU and she's killing it, and she loves her job. Our field is so big. It's vast. There are so many different types of jobs and there are new jobs being created every day. So even if you do not come across anything during your internship experience that is of particular interest to you, just know that there are limitless possibilities in this field. So do not get discouraged. And another note is even if you don't go into a job at the end of the day that is necessarily nutrition focused, the fact that you have your registered dietitian's license, that is something that no one can ever take from you. It is such a great asset. It will set you apart on your resume, and it will forever be something that you keep in your tool house as a professional. My next must do during your internship experience is to stay out of workplace drama. Do not get involved in any gossip between other dietitians or other people in the hospital or community setting or kitchen, wherever you may be. And this may seem like common sense, but in the moment it can actually be really tough to stop yourself and realize what you're doing. Because in the moment, a lot of the times as an intern, you want people to like you. You want your preceptors to like you. Maybe you really want to work at this place, and so you're even more inclined to want people to like you. And so you get caught up in these conversations. As an intern, you might get caught behind closed doors. I would just really encourage you to stay as neutral as possible. Do not get involved, because at the end of the day, you don't know the whole story, and the last thing you want to do is to blindly engage in some silly gossip and shoot yourself in the foot before your career has even started. Anything that you say, would you be okay if it was printed on the front page news the next morning? Always keep that in mind. The next piece of advice that I got during my dietetic internship that I felt like was really helpful and I want to extend to you guys is to stay firm in your goals, but flexible in your methods. And I mean this in two different ways. The first way is when it comes to your hobbies, your passions, the self-care that you do outside of the internship. For example, when you were a student, you might have worked out every morning before you went to class. But when you became an intern, the environment and the context kind of changes, and you may not be able to do that anymore. But if you're still passionate about working out and that is something you want to keep in your life, stay firm in your goal, but just get flexible in your methods. So maybe you only work out now once or twice a week, and maybe you go after work. That's okay. Try your best to still keep those things in your life. It will help keep you sane. It will help with stress relief during the internship. But also don't beat yourself up if those things show up differently now in your life as an intern. It can be hard in the moment to remember it, but do remember that this internship experience is temporary. So once again, stay firm to the things that matter to you. Just get flexible in your methods. And then the other way that this advice applies is also in your career goals. So let's say you go through the internship experience and you know, okay, I want to be an ICU dietitian. This is my dream. This is my goal. And then right out the gate, the first job offer that you get, or the only job available that you can take, is in the dialysis unit, and it's completely different from your original goal. Don't get discouraged. Again, stay firm in your goals, but get a little flexible in your methods, right? You're not always going to stay in the dialysis unit. Instead, let's absorb that experience right out the gate, your first job, and have that contribute to you being a more well-rounded ICU dietitian, which you will eventually become in due time. So that's an example there of just staying firm in your goals, but flexible in your methods. Don't beat yourself up. I'm a firm believer that everything happens for a reason, and all experiences that come your way can help get you on your way to where you want to go if you just adopt the right mindset about it. And finally, this is a piece of advice that you will probably hear a lot when you go through your internship. It's the most common piece of advice I heard, but it's very relevant, and it's one that I have experienced myself, and that is to keep an open mind. You will go into your internship with maybe some preconceived notions. There may be certain things that you feel like you are going to hate, that you know you're going to love, and then you get there and it may be completely different than what you were expecting. I thought maybe I was going to go into bariatrics. I was really fascinated with weight loss, and I could see myself going into a weight loss clinic. At one point, I thought maybe I want to do holistic outpatient counseling. And then I got to my internship and I realized I did not like outpatient counseling whatsoever. You could not pay me to do it. I don't like it. It's just not for me. Completely different than what I thought. And then I ended up actually loving my community rotation, which I did not see coming at all. And that eventually led the way to me getting my first job after my internship. So stay open. You never know what's coming your way. I really believe the universe is working in your favor. Just sit back, relax, enjoy the experience, enjoy the luxury of being a student, and let this grow you as an individual and a professional. If you are interested in learning more about my experience during my clinical rotation as an intern, I will go ahead and link that video for you guys to check out. Otherwise, I will see you in the next one. Bye!